Here's another one. So let me give you the background a little bit. So right when the pandemic started, this guy Ryan, great guy, former baseball player stuff. He nailed the 7, the 63, the 66, and the SIE. Nailed it. He was done around March. Literally March, like 1st, he finished. And then he was working at Merrill Lynch. And right after the pandemic started, he goes, oh my God, I'm not allowed to make phone calls. And I didn't follow up. I got, okay, maybe it's a pandemic thing. We can't do cold calling. So a couple months later, I finally talked to him and he goes, no, it's not because of the pandemic. They don't care. It's because somebody got in trouble for the do not call, violating the do not call list. Like a whole team. And I didn't realize how big it was, but it's pretty big. So what is the do not call list? Well, it's actually a FINRA rule that says if you do a cold call to someone and they say, do not call me anymore, then you cannot call them anymore. Within 30 days, you have to get it up. Now, the rules for cold calling are pretty strict. You can only call between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. on their time zone, and you have to give all your information. But if they say, do not call me anymore, you can't call them anymore. Really, literally, do not call me anymore. There are exceptions if you have a previous business relationship, like they're a customer already, or they are a personal relationship, or they respond to some kind of flyer, and they go, hey, they call, and then you can call them out. They're giving you permission. So here's what happened. So between 2018 and 2020, trainees, new people started, were told, do not call people on the do not call list. Okay? So between 2018 and 2020, trainees made thousands of phone calls, okay, up until January. Then they knew they were in trouble. So everyone at first thought that Merrill Lynch was saying don't call because of COVID. And I know my friend, he got the job, he got paid. He worked for basically a year, couldn't do anything. All he did was research. He was supposed to bring in clients, couldn't bring in one, and they were hard asses about it. Now we know why. Merrill Lynch just paid $1.5 million in fines. That's a big fine, okay? For all these trainees who kept using the do not call list. They were told not to do it, and they did it anyway. They just go calling, and then boom, it backfired. And a whistleblower kicked it out up to FINRA. But these trainees were told not to do it. So these trainees, they were not logging the phones. They were using their own phone numbers. Literally, they were finding workarounds around these rules because Merrill Lynch was pretty tight about it. They were saying they had paid fines in 2012 for the same thing. So they were really hard on this, but the trainees were finding ways around it. This is not shitting on Merrill Lynch. This is just showing they even tried to do the right thing, yet they still pay $700 to FINRA, $700 into FINRA, and then I think $700 to New Hampshire, Massachusetts state regulator. But they tried to do everything. As soon as they found out about it, they started cracking down, and that's when they told people they couldn't cold call anymore. So even though they did the right thing, they still have to pay fines because they let it happen. And I want to make it clear, the regulator said that they disciplined, fined, so they said They gave Merrill Lynch credit for doing the right thing, but still, when people do bad stuff, the firm takes the hit too.